Hey, Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us back here at Vegas Realty Check, your local Las Vegas real estate news show. I'm Trish Williams.
And I'm Tiana Carroll. Welcome to the show, you guys.
And it is our second week of the month, so you know what we're doing.
If you didn't like regular numbers, you're not going to love the number show, but we are going over everything Las Vegas real estate numbers that happened in the previous month. So here we are in April of 24, so let's talk March.
Yeah, and these numbers, numbers are looking good. They're looking healthy. Everything's like good, but I don't think they're as good as it could be for spring.
Oh, yeah, they're not spring numbers.
They're not spring numbers.
Because usually we have that, let's say March to August is the bulk of real estate that happens, especially in an election year, which we're in. So you expect that bulk to be happening in, not that business isn't happening and happening healthy, but it's just not happening as healthy as our normal springs are.
Yes, and the reason why the market still looks good, I know we sound like a broken record, but it's the truth, is because inventory's low. And inventory has not gotten any stronger.
No, matter of fact, today on our single family homes that we have for sale, we have the 3,331 homes available. That's across all price points in the valley for single family residents.
Look at all those threes.
That's a lot of threes.
That is a lot of threes. Sold 407.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent week.
Yeah, I'd say. And price reductions still same, 356.
356. So I got, I have a lot of agents who are on my feed on either any type of social media platform, right? And somebody was posting numbers the other day from a small town in the Midwest, and they had 7 new homes come on the market. Wow. And I was like, oh, snap, we're in a completely different market than they are. Can you imagine, 10 homes coming on the market for everybody in your city to fight over? I mean, obviously, much smaller.
How many realtors are in that city? That wouldn't even.
They would only need one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not enough to feed more than one person.
They'd only need the one. Yeah, I was floored when I saw that. I kept watching. I was like, that can't be real.
Yeah,
that can't be real.
Well, there's a city I can't relocate to because I'd have to find a new job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would be if
it could get hostile, take over. Another realtor moved in. There's this big war going on because you got to have more than one option.
That should be a whole reality show, small time real estate. There's 7 to fight over, it's to the death.
I wonder how that works because there's got to be more than one. Because no matter what, there's always the people that are like, oh yeah, I know that person's popular, but that's not my choice. I want another option. So. Got to be more than one, but I don't think they should have more than 2 or 3, but we'll see.
Wow. It's just I guess we're so spoiled, right? In our business and in our town. We're fast growing. We have a healthy market. Things are happening, but it's not going to be that way everywhere. Especially, did you see yesterday they said that the feds will not be cutting rates on an election year?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm to a point where I don't believe anything they say. Nothing.
Well, it's hard to believe anything they say because what they say and what you see can be 2 very different things, like what we're living with in our day-to-day real estate in Vegas versus what you see on clickbait news can be very, very different.
Well, they did come out with this huge announcement in December. We're going to drop rates 4 times this year, starting in January. We're headed right into this, whatever they called it. They had a fancy name for it. Mm-hmm. But it's okay, everybody says, and they said it. So you're like, okay, this must be true. This came from them. And then they didn't do it. They changed their mind. And they've done this so many times where I'm like, I could care less what they say anymore because we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
They are not, they're just as bad as the news.
Yeah. And then if you run the numbers from what our appreciation is versus how the interest rates aren't dropping, but our appreciation is going up, it's still the same factor. Still get a spot because there's not much spots to get.
Right. And that's just the reality of everything. And, our numbers, but the last number we didn't report yet was we had 708 homes going to contract over the last week.
Yeah.
So that's good. Or that's under contract steadily running, not
Right.
just in the last week.
Right. That's everything that's under contract now.
At the moment.
Yeah. Usually escrows in our valley are about 30 days. We didn't go over the price reductions, which are small again, because we only have 356 price reductions. So the price reductions keep getting smaller and smaller week over week. And that is because the inventory, right?
Yeah, you don't have to drop prices if you have no competition.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's back to supply and demand. And Vegas, didn't we? Gosh, I don't even know. I shouldn't even be saying it because I don't know the details. But didn't we have another sports team said that we're getting now?
You're like, we got all the sports.
We got all the sports.
Well,
There's some
I don't know.
follow sports, so it's like all
Really?
Greek.
You seem like such a sports guy.
Yeah, I know, all Greek to me. But I seen an article this week as another sports team. I was like, oh. Okay, great.
Yeah,
But
more sports. And they did decide finally that they are going to implode the Tropicana, where our baseball team will be playing. The A's will be moving to a field built at Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard on the old Tropicana Resort.
all right, well, bring your s'mores.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a minute because they have to go in and remove all the asbestos first. And there's got dust permits and asbestos permits and everything that has to happen before they can take that building down.
Don't bring your s'mores.
You don't want to roast them in asbestos. Okay, all the asbestos, to their defense, will be gone by the time the implosion happens.
But will it?
Yeah, it better be. We live here.
Yeah, come on now. I don't know.
Listen. Don't be
You know
ruining
me and my
lungs.
conspiracy theories. I don't know.
I do know you.
I'll be surprised if they do anything efficiently in this world these days.
I don't know. I got to disagree with you on that. I think the way they take down these buildings is really spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, the sheer mass of the property, because they'll be taking down 2 towers that have been put up in different parts of the Tropicana's lifetime, and they're going to come down and it's smooth and easy, and it's going to be zippity quick. You're going to be like, they're there. Oh, they're gone.
Right. I have a funny thing to mention about the asbestos, just because it popped into my head. And
You're
you
like,
know me.
triggered.
Yeah,
Squirrel.
triggered. So Tropicana has asbestos. This is a thing. Obviously, if they're doing removal.
Yeah.
So people have been staying there in these hotel rooms for.
So asbestos, as long as it is not disturbed, is not harmful.
Right. That's the point I was getting at. Like, you
But
know,
it's usually sealed in with like paints and stuff, especially Tropicana. How many times has that thing been painted? It's
Right.
buried
It's
under.
probably got
It's buried under lead
100
paint. With regular paint on top.
Right. No, but no, that's the point I'm getting at is, all these people have been staying there for years. No one like dropped dead in a hotel room because of the asbestos. But sometimes I will be at a home inspection and asbestos will come up and the buyers will be like, oh no, we're all going to die. We got to get out of the
world's
house
gonna
now.
end.
And I'm like, huh.
You're like, so you'll go stay in a hotel not knowing if there's asbestos. But listen, it's your purchase. If you don't want to buy with asbestos, you don't want to buy.
Well, no, I get that
Yeah.
in the removal process. No, there's plenty
and they
to
can
it.
get rid of it because I've done it before.
Yeah, no, there's plenty to it. There's a lot there, but it's just I'm always I guess kind of fascinated with the reaction of people. Like I've had like seriously like times where like people are like covered their face like, oh my God, there's asbestos or there could be asbestos, or the home inspector will say like something about the popcorn ceiling and because of the year it could have asbestos, and then like literally like on the spot they'll start freaking out, and I'm like, we've been in this house now for an hour. Do you think
Now's going to change? You think that napkin over your face is going to make a difference after we've been here for an hour?
that stuff's kind of hilarious to me, but
Well, I get the safety aspect, and of course you don't want to know in asbestos, and mentally, right, it's got to be a weird thing, because like what if somebody said we're going in a house that like has snakes and you hate snakes? You're already going to feel weird and creepy and not want to be there. So if you're nervous about asbestos and you think that, oh, you have acoustic ceilings, it was built in the 70s, chances are there's asbestos in there, I can see the fear. But after the initial reaction of fear, then it becomes educating yourself. Like, okay,
Yeah.
if I bought a house with an asbestos, what would happen? There's tests that you can do. You can have it remediated. You can
Abatement, yeah. And you definitely want to, before you cut into any walls, because that disturbs it.
Yep, you're disturbing it in any kind of. Go ahead. I'll come back to this.
Before you cut into any walls or before you do anything, you want to have an abatement done, an assessment done, maybe a test or something like that, even if your home is at the year where it would be at risk.
Yeah.
But just general everyday life, the asbestos is not like jumping out to get you, as far as I know.
Right. As far as we've been told.
we just found out the other day vitamin C doesn't help you. I don't know. There was a news report. I don't know if this is true.
I don't believe any of that because I use vitamin C on my skin and I believe I glow.
Yeah. Well, there's all these new research shows. So new research could show something different than I'm saying today later on. So
yeah, as of today. This is the story. Okay. So I want to go back to the asbestos removal. So did you see in California real estate, they just passed a law that if you've done any kind of remodeling on a home within 18 months, if you're going to sell that property, you have got to list the contractors and have receipts and everything. So you can't do like a quick shoddy fix and flip, buy a house, just come in and do everything yourself and then sell it. It has to be categorized and kept accountable and stuff. So that's the new law in California. Renovations within 18 months of sale have to be documented for the sale.
I kind of like that.
I kind of love that.
Yeah. Well,
I'm all about standards because I
like the standards aspect of it. Mm-hmm. However, I'm back to I think that the government shouldn't be in the middle of a buyer and seller purchase where I do think that the seller should have to disclose whether there was work done and who was, and I like that they have to post the contractors that did it, all the information about it.
Warranty.
If there was a renovation, I do like that part of it. However, if there was a homeowner remodel or something like that, that shouldn't prevent them from selling. I just think it should have to be disclosed.
Yeah, well, I think it is the disclosure that is the information. They want to know that this house was a fix and flip or bought for the purchase and the remodel, and they want to know that the contractors that came in for the remodels are there. And I think it's, to a professional standard. And I have to say, if you're an investor and you're doing this at a high level and you're doing these fix and flips, you shouldn't have any problem saying who your contractor is or whatever. It's very professional. But I know for a fact there is a flip company in town that when I run across their flips, I tell my clients, things are going to be held together. It's going to look beautiful, right? It's like lipstick on a pig. It's going to look beautiful. But I assure you, they only did the finishes and they didn't come in and change the AC. Look at it. It's still 1962 or whatever.
And sometimes they paint it and I'm like, seriously, you painted it to make it look newer?
No. And so there's certain flippers in this town that the quality of their work, I'm just like, how did they even get away with selling this? I tell my client, I'm like, it's going to look pretty on the outside, but you still have 1970s pipes and you still have the old AC and it's not as new as a new construction. It's just shiny.
I give those warnings as well. There was a certain person that was flipping homes here for quite a bit that is no longer in Vegas now. So, but I met his contractor at one point in time, and I was like, I can guarantee this guy does not have a contractor's license, for one. It took a 5-second conversation to figure that out. And I was like, oh, wow, this is, and again, I gave my buyers that same interpretation and warning every time we walked into one of his houses. I was like, it looks very, very beautiful, but I've met the person that does his work, and he's not very bright.
Yeah, I told you I went into one of his houses, and it was the black and white Home Depot remodel, that they do with the tile and whatever. And it looked very nice. And then my client asked if they could use the restroom. I don't love letting clients use restrooms in a house. I prefer to drop them off. Yeah, let's go to the gas station when we're done with this. But, they had a kid with them or whatever. And they came out of there white as a ghost because the toilet didn't flush, new toilet. And the toilet paper holder on the side was held on with double-sided tape.
Oh my gosh.
So as soon as they went to do the toilet paper, the entire holder came off with them. And I was like, oh, yay, this is why we don't go to the bathroom in somebody else's house. But luckily I had warned them
you find
about
that
this
out before time and not when you move in. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it comes back to the importance of a home inspection, right? That's why we do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we got completely off track.
No, that's fine.
Sorry.
We have plenty of time. Plenty of time to go over the numbers.
So Arizona and California tend to be our baby, or we tend to be their baby sister, and they.
I don't like that.
No, you don't like that?
No, I don't want to be related to California at all. But
well, I don't mind. But we sort of take action according to what they're doing. So we've got all of the rent caps and everything that's being considered because of California. And then now I'm just wondering how long this law of having to be accountable for your remodel is going to take before it comes to us.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that are happening in California that I hope do not come to us. a lot of things.
It's growth, man. It's the way it's going to happen. Speaking of growth, why don't we talk about what we're here for today?
Sure. Let's get into that.
Some numbers in March that we're going over. Let's talk about all the March numbers.
Okay. So March, how many units sold in March total?
For single family homes, we had 2,082.
All right. And that was 590 condos and townhouses. So a little over 26, what is that? 2,600, little over 2,600 between the two.
Yeah. So the townhouses are doing pretty good. They're only down less than 2%, but that single family homes is down over 10%.
And that's why it didn't feel like such a spring to me. It's down. Yeah.
Yeah, down. It's down about not quite 12%, if I'm being honest, but a little bit slow. But the deals that are happening are solid, and the median home price range, again, because of stock, isn't falling. Matter of fact, it's up almost 10%, 465.
Yeah, absolutely. And that median price home for median price range for condos and townhomes up 8.7%. So those are pretty consistent between the two.
Yeah.
New listings, and hey, the reason why we are short on inventory, even though it's up, it's a little bit up. We had 2,724 new single-family homes hit the market.
You're on a whole other slide than me. All right, gotcha.
No, same slide.
Same slide.
Same slide. Next column.
Next column. I had it zoomed in on my phone. I don't have my laptop in it today.
And I downloaded reports and got just a page. I don't know.
Screenshot.
Something went wrong with the download. I don't know what happened.
It's like, what did they call that? Mercury retrograde?
Yeah.
Here we are. Our technology's on the fritz. It's fine. All right. So 2,724 new listings for single family and 864 for the townhomes and condos.
Okay.
And both of those numbers are up. So up 6% for single family and up almost 20%, 18% for the condos and townhomes.
All right. And effective months of availability. Hey, this is, guys, it's a sad number, but this is what's holding your equity right now. This is what's holding your home values.
Yep.
No dispute about that. There is, and this is exactly why your home values are holding strong, because we don't have enough effective months of availability. And this month in single family, last month, March, single family, there was 1.6 months of availability.
That hurts. I do not like to see less than 2 months of stock in our valley. So 1.6 months is, that's down 10%.
Yes, that means if nothing new listed, guys. I've said this so many times before, but just for the people that are just tuning in for a first time now.
If you're new here.
Yeah, if you're new here. If nothing new listed for the last month, we would be sold out completely in 1.6 months.
Yep. And then it'd be over 2 months for condos.
Yeah. So that is
rough.
Tiny number. But even though it's bad, and even though we don't like seeing inventory that low, that is really what's holding your home values steady. If that number were to go up substantially, you would see prices drop.
Yeah, so with the announcement that they're not going to be doing interest rates, and now that this stock is starting to dip below that 2 months or be right at the 2 months for the condos, it's making me a little cautious, a little cautious of how spring, and then obviously it's going to affect fall. We'll be right there in the election, and people aren't going to want to make moves or whatever. So if you're a realtor out there, save your pennies, because you're going to have a sad fall.
I thought it was over in 2022. What happened? Or 2023? What
Now
happened?
we're just feeling the repercussions, really, of it all coming back full circle.
Well, but here's the reality. The election year is actually a very good year for buyers because you don't have a lot of competition. And again, the rates, with them not bringing the rates down, I get it. That sucks. The payment sucks. I've seen them. But again, you are way better off buying in a market without a lot of competition instead of buying in a market where there's a lot of competition. And those rates one day will come down. And when rates come down, you're going to see, and we've seen a surge in January just with talk of rates coming down. So it can happen that fast. And in January, buyers were like, oh my God, I missed it. The prices are already going up. There's already all these offers and all this stuff is happening. And that happened so quick overnight. So you miss the bus once it happens. So if you're ahead of it when it's not happening, you're doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing, that's when you can get the best scenario.
Yeah, I do like buying in a spot that doesn't have a lot of competition. I did it at the end of 22 when the rates first went up and everybody was freaking out. And I was like, oh, no competition. I'll take that one.
Yeah.
It worked out great for me.
Yeah, it works out great for everybody that I've seen do that.
Yeah.
Do it in that scenario. And the rates, again, they had announced that they were going to start adjusting them down, which means that is somewhere in the plans, even if they're not doing it immediately.
Yeah, maybe they'll do it in the fall and it'll completely change my entire outlook of what I just said. Who knows?
And they could do it right before the election because that's what they feel like doing for whatever reason, because they just do whatever they want when they want. But
they live their life like I do.
they are healthy.
Funny.
Yeah, so the under contract, where are we at? Days on market. Let's go to days on market.
Okay, so you're looking at the screenshots.
Yeah, well, they're on both our sheets and the screenshot.
Yeah, if you're going to go to the screenshot from the meeting yesterday, that's what you're looking at, right?
Yeah, but it's right there at the bottom of our sheet as well. I've got both screens open here. So days on market, less than 30 days, we have 62.5%, and that's why I want to go this one because the screenshots numbers off by 10. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened either. So 0 to 30 days.
Yeah, so 62.5% of the homes are selling in less than 30 days.
Quick.
Yeah,
Quick.
That is quick. The other 31 to 60 days is 14.5%.
I know, that's nothing. And 61 to 90 is even less than 10%.
Yeah, and those numbers just keep on trickling down.
Yeah, they just get smaller and smaller, unless, of course, you're the stubborn people between the 121 days plus.
Those are the stubborn guys.
They are stubborn at almost 8%. I mean, yeah, 8% sold in that 21 plus days.
I had a client, a buyer, make an offer on a home the other day. The home was on the market for 190 days.
Okay.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It was okay. And it was priced very high. And I'm like, as we're going through the house, I'm like, looking at the price, looking at the house, and I'm like, this doesn't seem right. I was like, and they're somewhat interested. And I said, before we even consider an offer, I think the price is the reason why it's been on the market. Let's take a look at the comps, right? So look at the comps. Oh my gosh, it's off by like 30,000, right? So buyers are like, okay, maybe we'll consider, sending an offer and, whatever anyways. So I reach out to the agent and they're like, we're not taking a dime less than list price and the buyers have to waive the appraisal. I was like, oh, well, enjoy your time on the market.
Well, eventually the market will catch up to you because I've had that happen.
Well, it's caught up to them. They're not selling.
No, but I mean, eventually that $30,000 will be at market value for them at some time because I just had this happen. I had a client in 2022 want a unit. And then that unit ended up getting a unit they didn't want and whatever, but the one that they wanted was still on the market, and here we are now in the beginning of 24, and that unit is still on the market at the price, but now it's at market value because 18 months later, the market has risen to what their asking price is.
Right, I get that, but no. I mean, the
I
house
don't
was
think it's wise.
not worth any of that. They were like, I think we could work with this.
But I love that they already knew it wasn't going to appraise, and like, you have to wait the appraisal because we're just being gluttons and greedy. So
Yeah, like
we'll take all the money.
They were like, there's no chance. And another one, like a month ago, I had asked. I'm looking at it. That was a beautiful house, very beautiful house. Everything, but again, it was so far off. I want to say it was like 100,000 off from the comps. And
Wait a couple years, it'll get there.
Yeah, and I was just like, and my buyers are like, yeah, like I don't, I feel comfortable about this, whatever. So I called the agent, and I'm like, well, I know. Like usually there's a price worksheet, and sometimes there's something we don't see. Mm-hmm. And they come up with these numbers. Like most people don't pick numbers out of a hat. So we called the agent and, asked like, hey, I was like, where, can you give me an analysis, something to help convince my buyers that are,
like I'd love to hear the roof was replaced and I have a new AC and the hot water heater's brand new.
Or you have a list of all the stuff that makes the adjustment justified. And the buyers wanted to see that. They were like, well, we'll be open to it if there's something that justifies it. And I called her and she was like, no, I got nothing. And I was like, no comps, you're not even trying. And she's like, no.
She's like, it's been 120 days. I'm all effort out. We're done here. If it sells, great. If not, whatever.
And she literally told me this wasn't the price I suggested to my seller, but he won't change it. I was like, well, you are not even trying. You are not even giving this your full effort.
Sometimes you know it as well as I do. Sometimes people are stubborn. No matter what you tell them, they act like you're not the one with the right information, or you're trying to dupe them, or you don't want them to have their best sales, which you do. You'd be like, I want you to get everything you can get. But if nobody's willing to buy it, then nobody's willing to buy it. So the single family, let's talk about the condos days on market.
Sure.
Did I even, Oh, yeah, condos. I'm in the right spot.
Okay.
I'm zipping up. All right, so 56.3% of the condos and townhomes went under 30 days in Vegas last month. And about 20% of them went from 30 to 60. And then these go down to almost 9% and then 6% if we're going for 60 to 90 and 90 to 120 days. But we still have stubborn overpriced sitting on the market over 120-day sellers in that townhome community and condos, because 8.3% of them are holding out.
Yeah, but the condos and townhouses are selling a little slightly bit slower than the single family residents, but
but those prices for those single family, for those condos and townhomes are all creeping up, right? Because the median price listed was $295,000. The median price sold was $282,000. Both of those numbers are up almost 10% on the sold side, and on the medium side, up 2.5%.
Wow. Yeah. So they're holding those strong values because we have no inventory.
We have no inventory.
This number, I love this number. This is the one from the slides that we're on now.
I love this number too, because this number changes all the time. And for so long, cash has been king.
Yeah. So cash purchases are down 24.1%. Yeah. Or I'm like, no. They were 24.1%. They were down 4.
Yep.
So 24.1% of the sales were cash purchases.
Yep.
But those were down.
But that number's dwindling because the numbers are down.
Yeah. So those were down 4%. Conventional sales. So there was conventional buyers. Those are conventional mortgages. Now, keep in mind, conventional mortgages right now have a higher interest rate than FHA.
Right. So that explains this slide.
Yeah. So you have PMI and things like that. Like if you do FHA, or MIP, whichever acronym it is for that. But those are, so a lot of times people go conventional to avoid that But, even if they can use FHA, but right now people are opting for FHA because it's such a substantial difference in interest rate. So anyways.
And it's FHA had 388, almost 400 homes that sold. And then that is 19.6%, which is up the 4% that cash lost, down 4%, FHA up 4%.
And that's good. That's good for our first-time home buyers. And that conventional number was 897 of the sales were conventional, which was down 1%. And as I was mentioning before, that down 1% is because some people are opting for FHA for the lower rates right now.
Yep.
Yeah, and VA buyers are veterans. So in really hot markets, veterans have such a hard time finding homes.
Right.
It's a struggle for them because they're the competition. There's still like an old mindset that like just thinks that VA is going to be difficult or whatever. So there comes challenges for veterans to find homes, which is so sad. And please stop, people. But the veteran sales, the VA sales are up. They were at 174, but up 8. They were at 8.7% of those sales. It's up 1%, but that 8.7% is still a pretty good number for the VA.
That is a pretty good number for VA, and I'm glad that we're in a market that they are getting into those homes. And I really love to see before investors or anybody else. I like to see owner occupants, people having a home and stability. That makes me happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this show went by fast. So.
It did. I can't believe it's almost over. Well, not almost over. It is over.
We are done.
It's over, people.
If you're liking our content, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and follow
join us back here every Thursday at Vegas Realty Check. And we're here every Thursday talking about numbers. And the second Thursday of the month is all the numbers, solds and days on market and VA and everything we just covered. Yep.
And check out our link tree at Realty Check. Vegas. There you can find everything. You can follow each of us individually on social or follow our Realty Check social. And you can see the show. You can see all the different places where you can download and listen to audio. So check us out there. You can send us listener questions that we will answer on the show.
Yeah, we usually do, but we didn't do it today. And that's at, is that Vegas Realty Check at Gmail?
You can send them by email also at vegasrealtycheck@gmail.com, or you can post them on our link tree. There's a link that goes to that.
Yeah, and there's a link tree in the description. So if you're listening to this, the description will have the link tree as well.
Yep. And that's realtycheck.vegas. Thanks, guys. And we will see you next week.
We will see you next week. Have a great week. Bye, Vegas.
Thank you. Bye.